To me, this is the ultimate engine that was built. An N14 mechanical marine engine rated at 498 horsepower. I bought this engine with a real bad noise in it, sort of assuming that it was a bad crankshaft and rod bearing. However, it turned out to be this was the noise. This is the skirt off of number 3 piston. The boat had caught fire and burnt a lot of the hoses off, and a while before this engine failure come, and I assumed that the engine had overheated. So I bought it, and I completely rebuilt the engine, replaced every moving part, basically, of course not the crankshaft or the camshaft, but every other component. Pistons, liners, rods, main bearings, vibration damper, oil pump, water pump, oil cooler. Had the injectors rebuilt and fuel pump rebuilt. And all new hoses here. Now this is known as a step timing engine. And you will see when I start it up what I mean by that. It will smoke severely for a few seconds until the oil pressure comes up, and then the smoke stops. This is the dash for the engine. Checking to make sure I got nothing going to interfere, and we'll start. This is what Cummins used to stay away from electronic as long as possible. This little box here is the magic box, and it's called a step timing control. Doesn't seem to be a very large control. However, it is operated by oil pressure and controlled by fuel pressure. This is a fuel pressure line, and this is oil line going up to the injectors. When the engine is idling at low RPM, there's no fuel pressure here. The oil from the engine goes up here, through here, and into the injector, and it will lengthen the stroke of the injector by approximately 10,000ths of an inch. That will advance the timing, and that's why the smoke stops as soon as the oil pressure comes up. Now this engine has already been sold. Father wants it to put into a piece of machinery. Even though it's a marine engine, there's no reason why it can't go into something else. If you come around to this side, you will see that the exhaust manifold and the turbocharger is all covered over with a water jacket to prevent fires in anywhere. So therefore, it could be used for any sort of an operation. And he's going to put it into a compost turner, which is great because his compost turners produce a lot of dust. Therefore, with the water jacket, he should not have any problems whatsoever, any worries about fires. It happens to be a 24-volt system, but that's no problem. That can be changed over to a 12-volt if he needs to. Other than that, it's a regular mechanical N14, and it's got the red valve covers that designates the N14 engine, and it's rated at 498 horsepower. This is sort of a bit of a oddity engine due to the fact it has been modified for marine application, and so therefore the turbocharger, instead of being on the side of the engine, is at the rear of the engine, and this is also, instead of having an air-to-air cooler for the intake air, it has a water cooler in the intake manifold. But other than that, it is a basic N14 high horsepower. Probably got what, 40 hours into it, thereabouts, 40 to 50 hours in that vicinity. I kind of worked at it in my spare time.
He also did that while he was, you know, getting a brain surgery and kind of picking away at us. It's hard to say.
Yeah, but it sold almost immediately. Well, matter of fact, it was sold before it was 100% completed. All I have to do right now is call the new owner and he will come and pick it up with a handful of money. A big handful. Anyway, I put the dash, the control dash is, I built it for the marine application. It's that can be mounted up to 25 feet away from the engine. It's got this harness right here, and it has when you turn the key on, that's low oil pressure, no oil pressure indicator light, but it has the oil pressure gauge here, tachometer here, voltmeter here for the battery, the charging, and two water temperature, an oil temperature, and a water temperature light gauge on it also. And also the light will work if the oil overheats or if the water overheats. It was in a boat, lobster boat. He replaced it with an ISX or an X15 Cummins electronic engine. I hope he has as good luck with that as he had with this engine. And he gives very little trouble, especially in the marine application, because there is no electrical system to fail, not like there is on an electronic engine. There's a serial number right here, and by the serial number, it was built in 1993. Normally there's a tag right here, a data tag, the data plate is on it, but it's because it's in the salt water, and that's made out of aluminum. Salt water and aluminum do not mix very well. Salt water will dissolve aluminum. An N14 mechanical is a very long-lasting engine.